Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me today. Well, where do I start? I'm a creative person. I'm an inventor. I'm curious. And I've had such a wonderful career coming up with very simple ideas, but some ideas maybe not so simple. And I came up with a way to bring ideas to market that really doesn't require uh, someone like myself to start a business, to bring my ideas to market. You see, the traditional way has always been if I have an idea that I need to start a business, and that was something I really didn't want to do. I didn't want to raise money or have employees or write a business plan. I didn't want to do any of those things. I just wanted to be creative. And I was very fortunate to find a way to bring my ideas to market through a business model called licensing, where I would come up with a great idea and then I would find a company that's already selling similar ideas in that particular space and category. And I would show them one of my ideas. And if they liked it, they would take it from me and they would do all the manufacturing and marketing and they would bring my ideas to market. It's called licensing, where you're basically renting an idea to a company, and every time they sell your idea, they pay you a royalty for each one. And it just worked. It worked so beautifully, I was a little surprised. So the business model is for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're, a little young or a little older. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter your financial situation. It's for everyone. It breaks down the barriers for anyone that has an idea. They can bring it to market now through the business model called licensing. And I want to show you a couple of the ideas that I was able to license to companies. The very first one is called the Michael Jordan Wall Ball. It's an indoor basketball game for kids. And it's so simple that I think people are really surprised that I was able to license it to a company. And I'm going to show you here. It's right here. It's called the Michael Jordan Wall Ball, in typically little indoor basketball games for kids or even for adults. I love these games. All the backboards were square, and I had noticed that, and I thought, well, why does it have to be square? And why does it have to be just blank? So I took an image of Michael Jordan, which is a very famous basketball player, and I just put it on the back, and I sent it off to a company in Ohio Art that had the license of Michael Jordan, and they were selling these indoor, of course, Nerf basketball games, and they loved it. And they licensed that idea from me. And it sold all around the world for about 10 years. And every time they sold one, I was able to collect a royalty. So it's a very simple idea. It's not complicated. And it didn't cost really any money. I didn't protect it, didn't file a patent. I just showed them a rough prototype. And I just took a poster of Michael Jordan. I slapped it on the backboard and I took a picture of it and I sent it off to Ohio Art, and they loved it. So that was a very simple idea. But I want to show you a couple other ideas. I had read where there's not enough information on labels. It was a very important article about if there's not enough information on a package, on a label, maybe people are taking the dose of medicine incorrectly. Maybe they're not getting all the critical information that should be on that package. Maybe it's on the box or the leaflet and someone throws it away. So I came up with a very simple idea. This is a typical water bottle that you could find at the national parks. But if you turn it around, if you look at the little window here, you can actually spin the label and you can get different pictures. There's a bear there. I call this spin formation. It's a fairly simple idea. And what's really great about it, it adds 75% more space to a container. And that was extremely important to a lot of different packages. It was on spices and vitamins and a bunch of other things. So that was called Spinformation, and it was a simple idea. But that idea came from this idea that I had. I wanted to create something that was fun for kids to drink from. And this has a little spout where you can drink it here, but you can spin it. And Minnie Mouse changes her outfits. And there she is there. You turn it over here. And this idea sold in all the Disney theme parks and stores around the world. And it was a very simple idea again. And I showed the company the idea, and they took it and they loved it, and they brought it to market for me. So I guess what I'm saying is anybody can be creative, and it could be a simple idea, it could be a complex idea, but companies are looking for ideas. So licensing, the business model, which is really wonderful for maybe people that are a little bit younger, because I don't think everybody has the skills or the time to start a business. So I can, I can show anybody. I think learning the model, first of all, allows, like I said, anybody at any age to bring it to market through the licensing business model. But let me show you how simple some things can be. Everybody's very aware of a guitar pick, that you'd play a guitar, and I was able to change the shape of the guitar pick and things like Mickey Mouse. And these were sold in all the stores around the world. But such a simple idea. The one thing I want everybody to understand that's listening is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to come up with something that's very complicated. You could make a small change. There you go. A small change on an existing idea and show it to a company. And if they like it, they'll bring it to market for you. So it's really an opportunity for all of us, for someone that just wants to be creative. And maybe you don't have some of the skills to start a business. So it's very simple to do. I also want to show you another very silly idea that was brought to market through licensing. And it was very, very easy. I had sent this idea to a company. Now, this is really interesting. I did not even create a prototype. I just gave them a one-line sentence. And the one-line sentence was, how about a little arrow, plastic arrow that had a suction cup that had little messages like, I'm stuck on you. And that little message I sent to a company in a one-line description. They were able to take that, build a prototype, and then build a production sample. They called it Sweet Darts, and it sold in all the stores from just one little sentence. So companies are looking for ideas from us, and it's very important for us to show these companies. Companies realize today, in order to be competitive, in order to be to do well in business, they need a lot of ideas. So the companies that are looking for ideas from people like us, creative people, you have to go to their websites, take a look at them, and ask them, are you open to product submissions from inventors, product developers, creative people? And if they say yes, that's what you want them to say yes, then you can send them their ideas and you can ask them, what is their process? And what's really wonderful about it, because now we can use the internet and we can reach out to anybody around the world any time of day or night, which is really quite amazing today. I just want to see what else I can possibly show you. If you look at the back here, you'll see all the ideas that either I brought to market or some other people I know, some of my students. But I also want to let everybody know I'm a very big patent holder. If you look over here, these are patents that I have achieved on some of the technology, some of the things I have invented. So I want to see if there's anything else I can possibly show you that you might like to see. Let me see, there's so many things in the back. I'm not quite sure which ones. Well, anyway, does anybody
Hi,
have any questions on how simple this is?
I have a question.
Sure.
Stephen, I'm curious to know, when do you know it's time to pursue a patent versus it's time to share your idea and pursue licensing?
Yeah, you don't have to patent everything. In fact, I would say that most companies today realize that patents are important sometimes. But a lot of companies that are looking for ideas, patents don't matter to them. And that surprises a lot of people. They're not quite sure, if you're talking to some people, they say, well, you have to have a patent, but that's not true. They realize that they need ideas, and they also realize the lifespan of a product is fairly short. So if you waited for a patent to issue, you might miss the market. So that's what's happening. So all the ideas that I see get licensed, there's really no patents. So it's changed. It's made it easier for us, but I do recommend that you might want to consider filing a provisional patent application. And that is very simple to do. You can do it yourself, and you can file it yourself for about $70. Yeah, very affordable. And that's a great tool when you're first starting out.
Got it. I see some questions on YouTube, if you don't mind me tossing those your
Sure.
way too.
All right.
I'm seeing here, what do you think is the biggest challenge in making an invention become a hit product, like some of the ones you showed us?
I don't know. I don't know if you ever know you're going to have a hit product. I think you would be extremely excited if that happened, but you just don't know. I don't think anybody knows. I look at it this way. If you have an idea that appeals to a lot of people, that's a good idea. If you have an invention that is easy to manufacture, that's very good. If you have an invention that has a certain price point that is very affordable, that's a very good idea. So you can build a prototype or make maybe we call it a one-page sell sheet. It's basically an advertisement for your idea. And at the very top, it might say, this is the benefit of my idea. And it could be even a photograph of your idea, a drawing of your idea, or even a 3D computer sample of what your idea would look like. And then you have a few features. Maybe it's easy to use, maybe it's small, take it anywhere, some of the features, and then your contact information. That sell sheet is really what you need to send to a company. And if they want it, if they say, hey, we're more interested, then you might have to build a prototype. They might have some other questions to ask, but it's really simple and anybody can do it.
And so somebody's asking on YouTube, how do you protect that sell sheet or that idea from being stolen by those mean, nasty, powerful companies?
Yeah, I don't think
I put some language in there that wasn't in YouTube.
I know. I don't think there's a lot of mean companies. I don't. I think the best protection is to find the companies that are inventor friendly. Find the companies that work with inventors. Find the companies that have embraced open innovation, that they're looking for ideas from people like us. So if you find those companies, ask them a few questions. Have you licensed or rented an idea from another inventor? Ask those questions and they will tell you if they're friendly. Now, some companies do not want to work with us. That's okay. Go to the next company.
Right.
Some companies will have even a portal where they'll say, do you have a good idea? Right on their website. And then you might make sure you read all the information before you send them your idea. But like I said, the best protection, number one, find inventor-friendly companies. And if you're inventing in the toy industry, they're all pretty friendly there. Okay. But if you want to protect yourself a little bit, file a provisional patent application. It's easy and great to do.
I'm curious to know, it's something I wrote down while you were speaking. It sounds like one of the skills required to thrive in licensing is actually being able to network well. Like, how do you find the people to speak to about these ideas?
That's a wonderful question. It's gotten easier today than ever because of the internet. Okay, so the two people you really want to talk to could be someone in the marketing department. It could be someone in sales. And you need to reach out to those companies. You can go to their website, get an email, and just say, hey, I'm an inventor and I've got a great idea. Who can I talk to? It's basically that simple. Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of people that live all around the world. So what do you do if you want to contact a company in California and you live maybe in Germany? How do you do that? Okay. You could go to their website, get their email. You could also go to LinkedIn. Now, I don't know how many kids are on LinkedIn. I don't know if you can even be on LinkedIn, but if you can, or if your parents can, you can find all their names on LinkedIn now. So if I wanted to, let's say, talk to someone at Hasbro, which makes toys, I could look up Hasbro on LinkedIn and it would have all the marketing managers and it would have everybody's name. I could connect with them and say, hey, my name is Steven. I'm 12 years old. I've got a great idea. What do I do? And they'll talk to you back. Yeah.
That's awesome. I see a question about, and I was wondering the same thing, I'll be honest. What's a failure you've had and what did you learn from it? Where are the ideas that aren't on the shelves?
Oh, geez. I tell everybody I could probably wallpaper my house with rejection letters. I hate to tell everybody, you get a lot of no's. Okay. And no's are okay. And in fact, I think you have to knock on a lot of doors and get those no's, because if you realize, if you knock on 10 doors, those are 10 opportunities for someone to say yes. So, and if I'm submitting an idea to a company and they tell me no, which they might, send another product to them. Keep on sending ideas to them. They'll start to talk to you. They'll start to tell you what they're looking for. I can also tell you that you have to be an idea factory. Okay. And the way to do that is to play games. Right. And I'll give you a great example of that, because this is why it's so easy to do. If I went to, let's say, a company's website and I looked at all the products, I looked at them all. Oh, they do this, they do this, they do this. What I do, I start playing games of how to make small improvements on those ideas that they already have. So like the Michael Jordan wall ball, I did notice that all their backboards were just square.
Yeah.
I said, well, why does it have to be square? What else could it possibly do? Could I add sound? Could I add some graphics? Well, why don't I add famous basketball players to the backboard? So I play games. So that game I call what if? What if I change it? What if I change the material? What if I change the shape? What if I change the shape of guitar picks and other things? You start to imagine what if. Now, the other game I like to tell everybody that I like to play is mix and match. How can I take one idea over here and another idea over here and bring them together to create something brand new? Now, what I love about mix and match, and I'll give you a great example of that. Sometimes if you're working on your car, or maybe you're working and you're building something and you have a screwdriver because you have to put a few screws in, it's dark. I can barely see it. Someone came up with a flashlight screwdriver. So I hit a button, the flashlight comes on, I can see exactly what I'm doing to put it in. That's the perfect example of mix and match.
Right.
So
clever.
There's games. Once you understand how to create ideas, look for variations, and make small improvements, you realize you can do this every day. And creativity is a muscle that needs to be exercised a little bit. So what I do is that I spend a little bit of time, I do my homework, all the stuff that I have to do during the day that I need to do, but then I have this special time where I can be creative. I reward myself by working hard that I can be creative. And I come up with these ideas, and then some ideas are just ideas. And then some of them, sometimes magic happens. And when that magic happens, you're like, you see it, you go, wow, I love that idea. I want that idea. And then then I look at it and go, all right, I'm going to find that company. I'm going to find a home for my idea. And that's when I try to plug it into another company's product line. So it's allowed me to, I guess, never grow old, have fun.
Love that. Can you tell us what was your biggest hit and how did you know it was a magical idea? What did that feel like, and what was it?
The rotating label, which I showed you here, was probably my big hit. And we sold hundreds of millions of labels.
Wow.
And it was on a lot of different products. And was it the really big hit? No, but it was a big enough hit. It sold around the world. And that idea, I collected royalties for almost 20 years.
Wow.
So that was I would consider that a big hit. The Michael Jordan wall ball, which was a really simple idea, but collecting royalties for 10 years off a product idea that probably took me 10 minutes to make. And then seeing it on TV, sitting there on Saturday morning, and there's Michael Jordan shooting the Nerf ball into the Michael Jordan wall ball and looking back at the camera going, it's the best looking backboard I've ever seen. So it's kind of amazing when you come up with an idea and it's in your head and you don't quite sure if it's a good idea or not. You think it is, you're not quite sure. And then, a little bit later, you see it on TV. It's pretty amazing feeling.
That's validating. I have to say, I feel vicariously fulfilled by it now that I know you. Like I can only imagine, based on the excitement of hearing it through you, what it must feel like to be responsible for that. Knowing that we have so many young viewers of GIFT and young participants, it behooves me to pose the question, what's an important piece of advice for someone who's thinking about pursuing licensing?
Well, I do believe the most important thing to do is find your community, right? And find people that can help guide you. I think it's very critical to find like-minded people that are going to help you on your journey, okay? And then what you need to do is learn as much as you can, educate yourself, and jump in. Have fun. And make sure you have someone that can guide you, have a mentor, right? Or have a class or an organization. You have to find people that can help you on your journey. And that's what it is. And it's a magical journey, but you need that support. Yes.
So awesome. We're so grateful that you've been so generous with your time and your wisdom today, Stephen. Thank you so much for being an important part of Global Innovation Field Trip. Can people find you somewhere to reach out, or?
Sure, I have a YouTube. I have books you can read and articles. I've written 1,000 articles, if you can believe that, on this topic for Forbes, Inc. and Entrepreneur. So you can find me on the internet very easily. And all the information is absolutely free. And I have a YouTube channel called InventRight TV with over 600 videos.
Wow.
So watch the videos and jump in and have a blast.
Fantastic. Stephen, thank you so much. And I hope that we meet again somewhere, and good luck with that next magical idea.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Take good care.
Bye-bye.
Take good care.